Okay. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Hope you had a good one. 4th of July is a day to celebrate. You know, we celebrate a lot of things. And hopefully you'll have fireworks. Not just outside, but in the house. Anyway, good morning, everybody. And welcome aboard on a lovely... Now, I really have no clue what day it is, so I'll guess and say it's Friday, and I think I'm right, okay? So good morning, everybody, on a lovely Friday morning. This is your baseball network, all right? This is your baseball network. This is where you go when all the other outlets have decided no more baseball, no more fantasy baseball. This is where you go. We'll be here just about 24 hours a day. And for those of you listening who decide on iTunes, Stitcher, Looney Tunes, cartoons, baboons, anywhere you listen, if you join this site, absolutely free, register, put your name in there, come to a chat room. Not only will you get the astounding chat room people during the course of the day, but you will get the phone number of the lady and the legend. And if you got a pending fantasy baseball question, we will absolutely help you and do what we can to support and give you the best information so that you can make your decision as to what to do. Okay? That's what we promise you. If you do that, guaranteed your fantasy baseball season, not just for this year, but for next year, will be a top-notch experience. Okay, so let's get on to what we got right now with, as we always say. By the way, I'm just going to open up the chat room by saying, let's ask a question right now. And I asked this to Andy this morning when she, sometimes you got to get her in a good mood, okay? And so the good mood question was, if you had to vote right now, not the end of the year, but right now, if you were voting right now for the Cy Young Award winner in the National League, who would it be? Would it be Hyun-Jin Ryu, or would it be Max Scherzer? Or you got somebody else? There you go. Sincere thanks for everybody who's making it into the chat room. Really appreciate it. Everybody who's in here. We'll talk to you in just a minute personally. Get you to say hello to the beer man. And, of course, the Cha-Cha back from Myrtle Beach. Can't wait to talk to you about it. Donkey Okie, Easy Kill, Jimmy Ross, Malpal. Patrick is here. Unholy Toledo, Zelmo, as we begin to filter in. Of course, Easy Kill with the Sunny Gray. That's Hyun-Jin Ryu or Max Scherzer for the Cy Young Award for this year. Okay, that's the question. And with the Atlanta Braves leading the National League East, Las Vegas now updated their postseason odds, and Atlanta's really in the thick of it. The Braves are 2-15 to win. What is that? Phillies are 6-1. The Nationals are 8-1. The Mets are now 75-1. The Marlins are at 2,000-1. That's to win the National League East. To win the pennant, the Dodgers are the favorite. The Braves are second. The Cubs are third. And to win the World Series, the Dodgers are favored over the Yankees to win the World Series. How about that one, okay? There are 5 National League teams separated by about 3.5 games. At the moment, there are 9 National League teams within 3.5 games of the wild card. And 12 out of the 15 National League teams are very much in contention. That makes for a good baseball season. That's what we want. We want it big time. Once again, Hyun-Jin Ryu or Max Scherzer for the Cy Young Award if you're voting now. Voting now, not the end of the year. Jock Peterson is the 8th man in the home run derby. Did you hear that? Andy took Jock Peterson in a couple of leagues in preseason, and, scratching her head, had her fingers crossed, questioned, I hope he's any good. Not only is he good, but he's the 8th man in the home run derby. Yelich, Peter Alonso, Josh Bell, Acuna, Bregman, Santana, and Vladimir Jr. And that's right. And so if you take a look at this, I'm proud to say 25% are Jewish. That's right. Yeah, that's right. 25% Jewish people in the, I don't know who the 25% are, though. Anyway, the average age this year of the Home Run Derby participants is almost 25 and a half years old. All right? It's the youngest Home Run Derby field ever. Last year, they were about 26 and a half years old. So keep in mind, if you noticed, Brandon Lau was named to the All-Star team. Jose Berrios, Xander Bogaerts been named to the team that replaced Tommy LaStella, Jake Odorizzi, and Hunter Pence. And then Gleyber Torres replaces Brandon Lau on the All-Star team. And only 3 Yankees in the franchise history have made it to 2 All-Star games before they turned 23. Anybody want to take a guess? The 2 Yankees that made it to the All-Star game before age 23. Okay? Actually, 2 All-Star games. 3 Yankees who've made it to 2 Major League Baseball All-Star games before the age of 23. Anybody want to guess that? No, it's not Jeter. Okay? Nope, not Jeter. Jeter is not one of them. Okay? Andrea votes for Scherzer because he had a broken face. That's a good reason. All right. So that's one trivia question. I'll try to hit you up pretty easy on the others. Okay. So as we go along, the projection system from Fangraphs Baseball Prospectus agree that 6 teams have at least a 50% chance of making it to the playoffs. The Yankees, Tampa, Twins, Astros, Braves, and Dodgers. And 2 of those models give the Nationals, the Cubs, and the Indians at least a 50% chance to make the postseason. The Red Sox and the Brewers are even odds to make it in some of the models that I've seen. That's 11 teams with a realistic chance of making the playoffs, according to the numbers. The Phillies also going to be under a lot of pressure to make moves after expectations rose in the offseason. And with of course, the Bryce Harper. The Cardinals begin Thursday, only 2.5 games out behind the Brewers in the National League Central. That's how they started before Thursday. And look, some teams are going to fade. Others will back off of trades thinking that they're only in contention for the 1-game playoff. I don't know how many teams will be making moves based upon 1 game and you're out. Don't really know that, so we'll see. Good morning to White Sox Al. And Matt Boyd is the guy that really is going to gain the high price. 3 years of arbitration left, and he pitched really well. Marcus Stroman is not eligible for free agency until after 2020, so he's another guy. It's going to be a lot of fun at this free agent deadline. And, of course, Cleveland comes out of the All-Star break, and they play a 10-game homestand. And it starts with a 3-game series against Minnesota. So right away, Cleveland could get themselves back into the race, and right away they could really fall out of contention. And that's going to be interesting, of course, to see what they do with Trevor Bauer. Okay? Will they have to keep Trevor Bauer? We'll see. I think one of the most, and of course the Giants from San Francisco, all of a sudden they've scored 40 runs in the last 4 games. That's the most runs in any 4-game span since scoring 40 back in 2014 in a 4-game series. Okay? But I think every day we're going to give you a Mets story. So, we gave you the story the other day about how they had 2 players from the 1969 team as memorials, not knowing that they were still alive. And not only are they still alive, and they gave them a memorial, but they were never even given an invitation. Well, how could you invite somebody who's dead? But even when they found out they were still alive, and Jim Gosker never got a championship ring from 1969. Imagine feeling that way. But then again, on the positive side, Jed Lowry is still not close. In reviewing some of when they acquired him, it was day to day. Now, his injury is described as a left side issue. Are you kidding me? They still are unable to define exactly what's wrong. And he'll miss the whole season. It just never ends again with the Mets. Washington wins again. 26 wins in the last 36 as they played Florida. 107 win pace over almost a quarter of their 2019 schedule. If the season ended today, the Nationals would be in the postseason. 26-10 since going May 24th. And Anthony Rendon hit his 20th homer, knocked in the go-ahead run. And Washington has won 8 out of 9, 13 out of 16. They're 4 games over 500. And here's the deal. With their payroll being what it is, they really have no room to sign Anthony Rendon. They're going to have to really maneuver. And when they're in contention now, it's going to be extremely hard to move and players. And it's going to be extremely difficult to move Anthony Rendon. And we know what happened to Bryce Harper. When he left, they got Zippo. So, pretty interesting. Suzuki homered in the second inning. Franchise record for consecutive home runs, now 18. Rendon's solo shot in the fourth. And Fernando Rodney. And guess who picked him up in Tout Wars and Labor? Me. That's right. So I got 2 saves out of Fernando Rodney. He hit 99 on the radar gun. And maybe they'll see that maybe Doolittle in the bullpen as the effector, if Rodney can close out the games, will be a better situation for the Nats. So don't sit on Fernando Rodney. Ladies and gentlemen, Methical has joined us. Good morning. Been a while. Nice to have you aboard, my friend. Methical is here. White Sox Gal, a lot of guests. All you guests, come on in, man. If you register, put your name on the board. If you're brand new, you'll get the phone number of the lady and the legend. Any questions? There's no other outlet for you to call anymore. They're all shut down talking football. You want baseball information? This is what you got. And if we're overwhelmed, we'll include our California contingent to answer questions, and it'll be almost a 24-hour phone service. But let's see. It's up to you. If you give us enough to do, we'll do it. Baseball is what we do. Anibal Sanchez, 1 earned run, 5 hits in 6 innings. Anibal Sanchez has not lost since returning from the injured list at the end of May. Miguel Rojas did connect on Sanchez's 5th pitch of the game. Hit his first homer of the season. Number 65 for Miami. They began the day last in the major leagues in home runs, 6 behind the 29th place Detroit Lions or the Tigers. Oh, my. And look, if they had Stanton, if they had Yelich, if they had Ozuna, that would be a pretty good outfield, wouldn't it? Holy mackerel. So before he went on the IL in the middle of May with a left hamstring, Anibal Sanchez was 0-6 with a 5.1 ERA. In 7 starts since he's come back, he is 5-0 with a 2.18 ERA. If you got a chance, don't miss Anibal Sanchez. Don't miss him. He's probably gone. But if he is still there, Beach Bum will know all about it. Good morning to Beach Bum. Brian Anderson remains sore. Got an elbow contusion. He grounded out as a pinch hitter. Caleb Smith is scheduled to come off the injured list and start on Saturday. He's missed the last 25 games. So you want to watch Caleb Smith. Cincinnati and Milwaukee, 7 2/3 innings from Luis Castillo. The Reds finished the series. That's the pitching staff is just crazy. 23 straight scoreless innings against the Brewers. That's how good the Cincinnati pitching staff. And who would have thought? Joey Votto's starting to heat it up. So the other thing about the Cincinnati is Luis Castillo has 7 games this season with at least 6 strikeouts. On his changeup, there is not one pitcher in the majors who even has 2 such outings, strikeouts on his changeup.